I'm back. Glad to see that you're also back. For those who are here for the first time, hi, I'm Vivian, and welcome to our fourth series of What's Wrong with Today's Society. Today's topic will be more specific about celebrities, but also our reaction to those celebrities. But before we start, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment if you want to, and share this video with somebody who needs to hear it. So I got my notes, I got my coffee, I got Jesus. So let's do this. So when we think about celebrities, what comes immediately to our minds? Like everyone: talent, fame, beauty, for most part, success, well, probably easy life, right? You know the saying, not everything that shines is gold, right? Not everything that sparkles is valuable. Not everything that is beautiful is also actually beautiful. So, in other words, not everything that seems good is also actually good. I've asked this question many times, and I'll ask it once again. Have you ever wondered why there aren't many famous people, powerful, and influential humans out there? How come it's always only those few elites, those few little ones up there, always setting the tone, always setting the trends, always saying where the world should go, etc.? And have you ever wondered why for us normal people it's so hard to become famous? No matter if it's on a platform like mine, or if it's an actual on a stage, singing and dancing and all of those stuff, or acting. How is it so hard to become famous, although you have the talent, you have the looks, and all of that? Because and no matter if what power position, okay, it can be politics, it can be whatever, it's hard to achieve this position if you are a normal human being. Because if we look today, I mean, back then the circle was tighter and it was harder to get into this position. You had to have a certain degree, you had to have a certain education, you had to have a certain aura, a certain quality to yourself to become to get in this position, especially when it came to politics. You had to be a certain type of intelligent person to get up there. But if we look, especially in politics today, we have war-hungry people, power-hungry people. They are not above destroying other people's lives to fill their own pockets. We have corrupt politics that they know how to say the right words, but also acting on those words is basically almost impossible. And the thing is, it's not because they're stupid, okay? They're not stupid. They're doing this for a specific reason, because they want to be rich, and they know how to do that. They know how to fool you into making you believe something that is really not, so that they can profit out of it. So they make promises that they'll never keep, and they keep you on the hook, promising you a better life, a better life, a better life. They break every single promise that they make, but you're on the hook because you are waiting for this better life that they claim that they want to give you. With celebrities, it's a little different. People have a much more blind eye for celebrities, and they have a more tolerance for their evil doings than people in politics. Okay, even with politics, if you really like the president, you have a blind eye for what they do in their country. But for celebrities, the blind eye is really much bigger, and the tolerance is much higher too. Because people idolize them, they worship them. People, I feel like really many people, they could literally fall on their knees and start praying to this one actor or actress or singer or rapper just because they are who they are. And especially these days, okay, I look at some celebrities, I look at some famous people, influential people, and I'm like, how did you get up there? How did you get to this position that you did? Because you don't really have the talent. What you're doing is you're showing your body, and it doesn't matter if you're male or female. You're basically just showing your body. You have a more or less catchy beat, but it's not like you personally have a talent with singing or with music in general. or they are from a certain culture, and because they are from a certain culture or a certain group, they became famous just because of that, but not because they actually have what it takes to actually inspire you, but because of this one thing that has nothing to do with talent. I see this more and more. I see really people that have, like, especially rappers, they don't have this talent with rapping. They don't have this I don't even know how to explain. They don't have this emotion. They don't have this feeling that they want to portray you of, look, I do that because this is my talent, and I have an emotional reaction when I do that. I want to transfer it to you. It's soulless. It's useless. And all the time it is becoming more and more people who usually put emotions in their songs and in their acting and in their doing are putting less and less soul in it, less and less energy, and it's becoming more soulless. It's becoming more useless. And why do people like this music? There is nothing for you there. And again, I'm not saying only musicians. I mean, the problem in general in the entertainment industry, okay? That we have this with actors, we have this with rappers, with singers, we have this with dancers. There is no emotion behind they're doing. They're just doing it to get money, doing it for fame, for success, for your attention. And I've realized that about 4 years, like music used, like if I think about Michael Jackson, about Queen, about Beatles, if I think about those, like I'm not that old, okay? I just like older music because there was something in it that really touched my heart, that touched my soul. Their lyrics, I don't even know how to explain, but today's music is soulless, is emotionless, is immoral, it's toxic, it's full of ideological behavior patterns, and it keeps people miserable and alone, like the text itself, what they're saying in those. Look, let's stay at rap, okay? I like rap. I do like rap. Let's stay with those rappers, the female ones. They tell women that feminism is the best way to live. We don't need men. We should be single and stay childless forever and just sleep around until the day we die because there is no better way of living. And then we have the male rappers that are basically saying that women are nothing but sex slaves or just sexual objects. We are all sluts and we're all only good for sex. And besides that, we're basically worthless. And we have also actors, musicians in general promoting this lifestyle as if this is really the right way to go. 95% of those people are married with children, or they are dating, or in a long-term relationship, or they're looking for someone to date. They're selling you a lifestyle that they don't live themselves. Why? Because they know the benefits of family. They know the benefits of having children, the joy that they bring to their life, and how good it is. It is challenging. I mean, I don't have children. I work with kids. I know how challenging it can be to have children in your life. But it's rewarding because I don't even know how to explain why, but it really is. It gives you joy. But they promote the opposite of their own lifestyle because they don't want you to live a prosperous, happy, joyful life. They want you to spend more of your money on them and what they tell you to spend it on, because then they have your full attention, your full admiration. Your focus is not elsewhere. Your focus, for you, they are the most important thing in the world and not your children, not your husbands or wives. And this is the whole point. They want your undivided attention because that means that they have your money. Because instead of spending in something valuable and something that actually matters, like your family, you're spending it on products that come and go. I feel like every month there's something new going on, man. Again, they cannot have your undivided attention if your main focus is family. But they do what they do for their families. This is the ironic thing about this industry. They want your praise, your admiration, and they want it completely for themselves because they're selfish. They're selfish, and they're doing it for their own family. So, let me ask you this again. We already established it's hard to become rich and famous. We went deeper into this topic. How come that so many talentless people are becoming rich, famous, whose content, music, acting is just so hollow, is just so empty? How are they getting all of this fame and wealth? How? Because they all serve the devil, okay? They all have one thing in common. They serve the devil and they don't care. The devil doesn't care if you have gifts, if you have talents, if you actually have what it takes to touch people's hearts. They don't care. He looks for alliances, okay? He looks for people that will do anything for him. And because he rules the world, he wants that person, and he is going to give that person whatever they want as long as they serve the devil. If we look around, like big events, concerts, like the Olympic Games, all of those stuff, and just some other events, like in France, there was this really weird event of Lilith and whatever else that is in the broad daylight, in the middle of the streets. Everything is ritualistic, is symbolic, and is demonic. Everything has a demonic scent to it. It has this theme of hell and just fire and just evil. People dress like demons on stage. They dance weirdly in their circle as if they are making a ritual, because they are making a ritual, which is the reason why everything is so dark and symbolic, because you cannot have a proper ritual without symbols. And it's also interesting that during today's concerts, many people in the audience, they start acting really weird. They start dancing around as if they are possessed, and they look at the singer as if I don't even know how to explain. I saw that online and I'm just like, okay, that is so weird. And I got goosebumps everywhere because I just saw the evil in those people's eyes as they were dancing. They were dancing violently as if they were possessed. And I don't know, their eyes just, it just blacked. At some point, it's if like the majority of people in the audience are hypnotized. They're hypnotized and they're dancing a certain dance synchronized that usually is not part of the music. But they all somehow know it and they all start dancing accordingly. It's perfectly in sync. And the singer is just like, yeah, that's normal. Okay, that's normal. There's nothing odd about that. And many people that went to such concerts, they left. They paid hundreds and hundreds of dollars to be in that concert, to then just leave, to get up and leave in the middle of it, because they felt like something dark was happening that they didn't want to partake in. So they were like, okay, that is not worth my money. Okay, I spend it, it's fine, but I'm gonna leave because that's not what I came for. Other people that stayed, they were interviewed afterwards from YouTubers from smaller news channels. And those who stayed, they were asked like, yeah, how was it? How was the concert? How did you feel? And they had to pause for a bit and admit that they had no memory of the concert. They remember going in the concert, they remember sitting down or standing in a certain spot, the music starting and then gone. They don't even remember leaving the stage. If that doesn't raise alarms in your head, I don't know what will, because that is really not normal. Look, if you're like me and you were born between 1995 and 2005, you've experienced a shift in the entertainment industry. Music and films have always been somewhere sexualized, symbolic, and also ritualistic and demonic. But most songs were about, or in films were more about falling in love, about heartbreak, how sad the world can be, but also about dancing and partying, just having fun. All of a sudden, it became hypersexual, depraved, like very depraved, very disrespectful, and just degenerate. And I think the shift was around 2005 to 2010, more or less. And then about 4 or 5 years ago, things started getting really demonic, like ritualistic, highly demonic, highly ritualistic and symbolic, like visible. And then I think about the Bible verse in Revelation 12:12, where it says, "Therefore rejoice, you heavens, and you who dwell in them. But oh, the horror of the earth and the sea! The devil has come down to you with great rage, for he knows that he only has a short time." Now, I believe that at some point between 2008 and 2012, this must have happened, that he came down to earth and he didn't have much time. Because around this time, this is when this big shift happened. Again, 2005 to 2012, 2015, or even 2010. But in 2010, it started like gradually, and then all of a sudden it was just like there. And this is when the big shift in this entertainment industry happened, and it started out of nowhere. Now, mind you, the devil has always run the entertainment industry. Every song, every film, every actor, every singer, every rapper has always been in the hands of the devil, because the entertainment that they give you is the best distraction ever. And it numbs your brain, it makes you more submissive, and it prepares you for their plans. Because as long as people see something somewhere, or they hear about it, when it happens, it's not that strange anymore, because they know about it. And if you ever realize that many films that were made in the 90s, in the early 20s, somehow what they said is coming true now. They prepared us for all of this. And this is why there are not so many people rising up and standing up and doing anything about it, because we all heard it somewhere. We all saw it somewhere. Because we heard it and saw it somewhere, it's not that weird, because we've been told that. So it's easier to accept it and see it as less strange. But it's much more settled, or it was much more settled. Now it's not anymore. And here's what you need to understand. The devil took a big risk here. He took a big risk in making this shift from one moment to another so drastically. Because this could also mean that his plan is falling apart. And it is, in a certain degree, is falling apart, because many people got awake of that. And they were like, maybe the conspiracy theories were actually right. Maybe there is something wrong. Maybe the devil is running this world, and maybe I should just stop giving in to everything the world gives me. Maybe. So people are preparing for the Antichrist, and the sudden shift is what is preparing people to all of this stuff, this demonic, this symbolic, this woke many people up to the fact that the devil is running the industry, which made people stop being entertained by them. The thing is, those who ignore that and kept on being entertained because they are basically in the middle of a ritual without knowing, they are very deep in it, and they don't even realize it. They basically became puppets to those celebrities. And how do we know that? Because we see the Epstein files. We see that. We see how many celebrities, how many politicians, how many big names with a lot of influence were in there. And then we see people, fans, defending them, pretending like this never happened, ignoring that, or just being like, oh, he or she had their reasons for it. It's not a big deal. We just, they apologized. Okay, they apologized. And yeah, okay, it sucks for the victims that they're still running free and not never get justice, but hey, they apologized. They justify their actions because they idolize them. They idolize actual monsters. I'm not talking about looks. I'm talking about behavior patterns that nobody knew until now. And they do such stuff, such horrific stuff, to stay in power, to have money, to have that fame, to have that influence that the devil wants them to have. Talentless people have this power, this influence, because they're willing to do horrific stuff to other people to keep what the devil is giving them. And for that, they need to fulfill the devil's agenda, which is to bring as many souls to hell as possible. And they're doing that by preparing us for the devil's plans, for the devil's agendas, through entertainment. The rituals in concerts, the symbols and the film and the music videos, the spells being cast on the background of every concert, the frequencies that you don't really hear but is there, it all makes you more not empathetic. It makes you more subtle. It makes you more subjected to the devil's agenda, and it makes you blind for the truth. It makes you accept depravity and degeneration much easier than anyone else, because you don't just accept it, you're embracing it. You are in the middle of the ritual, being part of it, and you don't even know it, but because you are giving them your praise, you're applauding what they're doing, okay? In the middle of the ritual, you are actually bringing upon your own destruction. You're literally slowly destroying yourself because you just really want to be part of all of that, and that's really sad. My mom always used to tell me that I should stop listening to worldly music, and she's been telling this since I can remember. I thought she was being paranoid. I thought she was being overprotective. I thought that she was just, because everybody was watching. Everybody was watching those music videos. Everybody was dancing to it. Everybody was just hyping it, and I was like, why can't I do that? Why can't I? And now I know, because she was right. She saw something that I didn't want to see, and now I do. And I'm like, well, yeah, thanks, Mom. You were right. God took the will for worldly music away from me like about 4 years ago. And since then, the shift has become even more demonic, even more ritualistic and symbolic. And I also felt a shift in my mind, my soul, and my spirit. I can see things better. I can recognize things better. And I started making better decisions after I stopped listening to secular music and I started just listening to worship music. And I stopped being entertained by every movie that comes out immediately, or every series, or every song. I mean, again, the songs are just, I don't listen to them anymore. But there's one more thing that I want to, before we end this video, there's one more thing I want to talk about, and it's trends. Yes, trends are a problem, not because they can be a problem if we let it be a problem. And we have let it be a problem since the beginning of successful people. They set the trend that you follow if you like it or not because you want to follow, because you like it, but because they are up there and you're down here and you want to be more like them. The reason why trends are such a problem is because it kills individualism. It kills the self of every person and makes them more like everybody else. So there is no individualism, there's only equality. And I've realized that many people follow trends like fashion, not because they like the clothes, not because they feel comfortable in it. It's just because everybody else is doing that and they just want to be part of this and not be excluded. And that to me is such a problem. We can have similar or even equal taste in clothes, in music, in whatever, in behavior patterns, but doing that just because somebody who is rich is telling you to do that, although you don't really want to. I've seen people make tattoos, put permanent stuff on their bodies to follow a trend. I've seen people deform their bodies, like with the BBLs, for example, to be more like celebrities. And now the trend has shifted from big booties to a more slender, more petite form. And now they're like, okay, I cannot get rid of my big butt. I can't get rid of it because it's going to be dangerous. I don't have the money for it. And yeah, now I'm sad that I cannot follow this new trend. People, just do whatever you want to do. Just put the clothes on that you like. I mean, let it be, not too open, not showing too much, but wear the clothes that you want to wear. Okay, not because somebody told you to wear certain clothes or to do your makeup a certain way or to, I don't know. I don't even follow trends anymore. I don't like it. I don't want people to kill my individual taste to make them more. Okay, before I start repeating myself, I'm just gonna let it go here. So thanks for watching. Thank you for listening to me. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share this video for someone that needs to hear it. Leave a comment if you feel like it. Other than that, well, God bless you. God loves you. And We'll see each other next time. Bye.